Hi, I'm Nicky Coffin and welcome back to another episode of Recruitment Manager Training Tips. The Commonwealth Games has just finished here in Glasgow and what an amazing Games it was. I was lucky enough to see Sir Chris Hoy being interviewed by BBC 5 Live, and one of the things he talked about was what British cycling had implemented that created such success for them in the last Olympics and these Commonwealth Games. It was a key mindset strategy for them that was called marginal gains. Now, marginal gains are small or insignificant changes that they made to their processes. So tiny things like bringing their own mattress when travelling for events so that it felt like they were sleeping on their own beds. And this meant that they had a better night's sleep, which meant they could perform better the next day. Now, these gains and changes on their own may seem insignificant, yet when they're all added together mean the difference between winning gold or coming fourth. So as recruiters, we can also model this marginal gain strategy to get better results. And here are 3 simple marginal gain areas that you could consider working through with your team to get better performance. The first one is working only on qualified jobs that consultants are 80% certain of placing. This means, however, that your consultants will really need to master their process of taking on quality jobs, getting crystal clear on how they're going to establish the client's needs, what questions they're going to ask, what they're going to offer the client, benefits versus features, and also making sure that they can deliver on the client's needs. Also making sure they ask for exclusivity and interview slots each time, mastering this process so that they can negotiate higher fees every time. Now, when you're working only on 80% certain jobs, consultants won't be playing a guessing game about whether they're going to hit their targets or not. Their efforts will be going towards working a job that will give them a return. And they will also sometimes create up to 6 hours extra a day because they're not working unfillable jobs. So the top tip here is brainstorm with your team what the fillability criteria is that makes an A, B or C job. So the second area for marginal gains is working only on qualified candidates that you are 80% certain of placing. I call these most placeable candidates, MPCs. Now, when consultants only work with the right skilled candidates that are committed to moving, have been properly interviewed, are referenced, and they've got exclusivity with them, will mean that they'll make more placements. Now, the thing about MPCs though is they are more difficult to find because you need to get them right at the beginning of their job search. However, you only need 2 or 3 MPCs a month to make 2 placements. These type of candidates will come through referrals, word of mouth and your own database, so that's why they're harder to get hold of. And the key here though is to be getting your consultants focusing their time on finding and working these MPCs, because working on quality candidates means that consultants will increase their chances of success. It will also increase their reputation and quality in the market. So the top tip here is brainstorm with your team to decide what makes an MPC for you. What does an MPC look like in your business and how can we get more of these? So the third marginal gains area that you could look at is increasing your average placement value. Now, this is a really smart thing to do because it can give you significant returns really quickly. Increasing average fees can be done in several ways. Firstly, focusing on a higher average basic salary. So for example, if a consultant's been working on a 25k basic salary level, at 20% his average fee is going to be £5,000. Making 2 placements a month, his total yearly billings 120. If this same consultant were just to focus on a slightly higher level of candidate, i.e. 40k base, it would increase his average fee to 8,000. 2 placements a month at 8,000 would mean his yearly billings are 192,000, which is £72,000 a year difference. Another area you could look at is increasing the percentage that you charge a client. There isn't much difference between negotiating a 22 or 25% fee, yet it takes the same amount of effort to work a great or average job. Negotiating 3%, it doesn't seem much, but when you add that to 2 or 3 placements every single month, it's going to make a massive difference to your overall results. The thing to note here though is you may have to step out of your comfort zone, which can feel uncomfortable initially, but the more you do it, the better you're going to get. So it's really worthwhile doing this. So think about finding new clients if your existing clients won't budge that you can do this with. So the third area you could look at here is changing your market or geographical focus. I was working with one consultant who found out that if he could place the exact same candidate in Switzerland, he'd get 30% fees rather than the 18% fees he was working in the UK. So we simply worked out a plan of how to get new clients in Switzerland, and he made a lot more money. Another client I worked with was placing office support staff, and she did an analysis on the type of clients that were paying more for exactly the same type of candidates, and found out that if she focused on the legal market, they pay higher fees and also higher salaries. So again, we simply worked out a plan for her of how to develop that niche, and her billings doubled in 3 months. So imagine how you could do this with your market.